Hello, everyone. This is Angela Johnson Ayers here with Confessions of Mommy. As you can see, I'm in my car, which is like my makeshift office, but I'm in carpool. But what I wanted today's episode to be about is about really looking at the signs of if your child could be suffering from stress and anxiety. You know, many cases when we think about anxiety and stress, some of you may even say, well, look, why would my child be stressed? I mean, come on now. They don't have to go to a job. They don't have bills to pay, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, just like we live in a society where there's a lot of just stuff going on around us. And children, particularly young children, are very keen and they catch on to our moods and what we're feeling and thinking. And depending on your personality type, depending if you are more of a laid back type of person, whereas with me, I'm a type A personality. I was not born to be. I think when I was younger, I was very positive, and then life happened. Things happened, and how I responded to life was not always the best. Let me roll the window down. I'm hot in here. And so before you know it, I became very pessimistic, very negative, and then many of my thoughts and things are you know, like fear-based almost, which is something that I know is not of God. But you hear about the sex trafficking, human trafficking, people are kidnapping, abducting. You hear, I mean, just stuff is happening all around us, and so it can permeate and penetrate your spirit and your soul and even your body as far as the effects of it on our bodies. That being the case, our children can pick up on our cues. And so if they see that we walk in a fear-based or stress-based type of environment or temperament, a lot of times they carry the same. You know, I have two daughters, and I watch their of course, their whole personalities and how they are. They're very different and also very much alike in many ways, but they're very different. The youngest is very laid back, just like her dad, you know, is just like chill, whatever, you know. My husband, as you all know, besides being a professional, what he does professionally, but he's also a professional guitarist, and he is the bomb. Shout out to my husband. But anyway, and so our youngest daughter, she's all into the guitar, and you know, that's their thing. And then me and the oldest daughter, we are type A to the T. Like, it's just crazy. And so I noticed though that has picked up a lot of my anxiety and stresses. And then also because of school can be anxiety ridden and anxious. And so I want to give you all some areas where children, particularly younger children, and this can go across not just younger children under the age of 11 or under the age of 13, but in general have areas of stress. And the first area is, of course, school or education. Particularly in this country, we put it's amazing, having been an educator, we put so much emphasis on education in this country. However, we fall so low behind other countries on the diagram of education. When it comes to the scale of education, the United States is like very low on the totem pole when it comes to other countries and education. But yet we always stressing education and stressing out our kids, you know. And as we saw in the media, people, and this is not just the first time it happened, but people paying schools and universities to accept their children in, you know, who really may not even deserve to even be there. But it's because of the stress you put on children. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, and this may surprise some of you, but catch this. I told my children, I don't care if they don't go to college. Yes, I said it. Years ago, think about it, especially as African Americans, college, education was our key to success. It was our key to life. It was our key to being able to be on a level playing field and do something with our lives. But nowadays, going to just traditional university or college may not always be the answer for some of our children. Quite frankly, I see nothing wrong. And matter of fact, I think it's quite admirable for many people to get a trade, to go to a trade school. Listen, if my child wants to go in and follow their father's footsteps and become an HVAC expert, which is thus open doors for him to do some other incredible things, I'm like, go for it. You don't have to go to a 4-year university and spend gobs of money. You understand what I'm saying? Where you can go to this tech school and get you a trade, HVAC, cosmetology, whatever it is you want to do, and excel in it. Or maybe you have invented something, Or maybe some of you all who homeschool, you have the opportunity where the world is your children's classroom. So you follow, of course, a set curriculum as far as your homeschooling, but then the world is your classroom. You know, case in point, I know someone very close to me who they now live in another country, and they homeschool their children, but yet now their world, what greater history or social studies lesson than to live in a totally different country? But see, we have placed, particularly in America, we've placed education just in a box, and particularly even in a smaller, if I have to section off in America, especially African Americans, us, it's like that small little box. Look, we got to stop thinking in the box. We got to think outside the box when it comes to our children's future and their financial stability and their education. The truth is, some of you all are putting so much stress on your children where they're really doing the best that they can. Now, I'm not saying don't push your children, because one thing I can't stand is a lazy, mediocre person. And you don't just wake up and become lazy and mediocre. That is embedded in you, and most of the time you learn it from a child. So don't get it twisted. Angela, the Confessions of Mommy vlog person, is not telling you to settle, but what I am telling you is education is a very big part of some of our children. When I say children, I mean high school, college age, middle school, elementary school, even some preschool age children. You're stressing them out. Another area where you're stressing your children out is extracurricular activities. The reality is, if you are exhausted, chances are your children are exhausted, because schools nowadays, most schools worth a grain of salt, want to be able to compete. And so they do have a pretty strenuous schedule, academic schedule, that is. So think about it. Many schools, particularly if your children are in some of the public school systems across the nation, unfortunately, they have taken out either recess altogether or the length of recess. They've taken out PE or the length of PE. They've taken out music or the length of music. Arts, the areas where children can do more than just sit in a classroom and learn as far as with the basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. So the other outlets, such as to nurture their artsy side or their physical side, has either been diminished or totally abstracted altogether. That being the case, your children don't have an outlet while they're in school, thus bringing on more stress. So again, then they come home from school, and then you want to put them in lacrosse, basketball, this, football, ballet, blah, 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 blah. It's like, come on, enough already. So by the time they finish that, you get them home, it's 7 o'clock. Then they have homework to do, because some schools pile it on, right? They're not getting to bed till sometimes 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock. That's insane, because children need rest. And depending on their age, they're in the medical charts. And if you don't know, check with your pediatrician the age that most children, now of course it varies, but most children, according to whatever age they are, need a certain amount of sleep to function properly. And so when children are exhausted, just like you and I, we are in a funky, foul mood. You understand? So what I'm telling you is, one area that you have to watch and make sure your child is not stressed, you have to watch academically. Second area is over extracurricular activities. The third area is just life itself. If you have children who are preteens or they're going through the early teen years, they are prepubescent, they are still embarking onto puberty, of course they're going to have a mantra of different changes going on in them, mental, emotional, just hormonal. And so they're dealing with that as well. So not only are you dealing with the stresses of school, academics, the stresses of being overly academically extracurricular activities, then you have their own hormonal growth. And then the fourth area is just life itself. We grow up in an area where we tell our children, don't trust this one, stranger danger, don't go here, don't go there. And next thing you know it, believe it or not, if someone's always putting those negatives, putting all those things on you, it does wear on you, even subconsciously. And before you know it, children are having headaches. Children are stressed. You understand what I'm saying? They see what's going on in the home environment. I'm talking about just the environment around them. And not just the physical environment as far as with the air, water, food, although that's a whole nother conundrum, right? But just in general, being what's around them, their surroundings. Now that I've given you the 4 areas to look out for if your child is stressed, and I'll repeat it again: education, extracurricular activities, just growing up, hormonal changes, and then fourthly is just the world around them, their environment. The fifth area is just plain and simple. Excuse me. I don't want to say the fifth area. Let me call it this. Let me give you some remedies to the stress. Okay, how's that? The first remedy to all of this stress, okay? And I notice y'all gonna be like, what relation does this have with anything? Have a clean room or sleeping environment or dwelling. Remove extra clutter that's around you. And you might be saying, now how in the world is a made up bed, a vacuumed floor, how is all that going to help my child de-stress? Because when you walk into your house, I don't care if it's a house, an apartment, I don't care whatever your dwelling is, and I don't care how small it is, if it's clean, it's a feeling that comes upon you. I really believe there is a spirit attached to filth, just like there is a godly spirit attached to cleanliness. Now, I'm not saying you have to be OCD about it, you understand, or an extremist about the cleaning, but you know when your house is straight nasty and your kid is coming home to a mess, and that just adds to the confusion. But doesn't it feel good when you walk into a place, whether if it's a place of business? Oh, I know a great example. A doctor's office. You walk into a doctor's office, there are some offices that's just like chaotic, right? If I walk, honest to God, I'm going to tell you, if I walk into a doctor's office or an attorney's office or somewhere, a professional place, and does not look a certain way, and the carpets are nasty, I'm like, these people don't care. So if they don't care about this, they're not going to really care about what's going on up in here or whatever service they're providing. This is going to be my last time coming here. I know that. And that's the truth. Because I don't care what you say. You can be as godly as you want to be. You're not going to sit in no church on Sunday if it's nasty, are you? You all like to sit in these plush, lavish churches or places of worship. Why don't you want to come home to it? Because it brings a peace, right? What if you had to go to church, you had to step over the hymn books, step over the Bibles, the communion cups all over the place, and it's just a mess. The spirit, you can't flow. Well, that's the same with your house. So the one area, and that's the only area I'm going to cover today, because there are others, and when I talk to you all tomorrow, I'm going to give you all, I want to share with you all the psychological impact that these stresses have on our children. And so, but the one area I want you to work on today, and this is your take home, I'm going to give you some homework. How about that? Clean up the environment, especially in the room where your child sleeps. I don't care if your children share a room with 4 other people. Let it be clean. So at least when they come home from a stressful day, your house should be a place of woosah, where I can breathe and I can exhale and I can now recharge for the next day. So look, again, the 4 areas of stress for a lot of children: school, academics. The second area is extracurriculum, overtaxed extracurriculum activities. The third area is just basic hormonal growth, puberty, pre-puberty. And the fourth area is just life and what their life encompasses. If that's your home life, your family, whatever that looks like to you. And the first way to start on the journey of fixing it up, believe it or not, declutter your house. And you'll see a big change. Hey, look, continue to subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload other videos. And thank you all so much for joining me. Talk to you soon. Be blessed.